Okay, welcome to this video on SolidWorks 2024 modelling. We're looking at the treatment features on the extrude command. So I've got a base sketch, 50mm diameter hexagon shape, and I'm going to choose the extrude command, choose select from sketch. If it comes up with coincident plane, we can use the arrow key to change that. Nice quick way of doing it if we don't know that one. Choose the profile and accept. Make sure I'm on one sided extent, finite, extend that up 40mm, and then place that. This is where we can now go and choose our treatment step. So one thing, if we are going to use this treatment a lot, there's an option here where we can go always prompt it. So if I click OK on there and I get rid of that one now, that's going to prompt it every time. So if I go and just do this one quickly, and we go and do that one again, that's going to go to my treatment step. So we can choose whether we want that or not. So I'm going to leave that as never on there. So we've got three options: no treatment, draft and crown. We're looking at crown really, but I'll just quickly show you draft. So draft gives us an option where we go and choose our angle. So I'm going to go 2 degrees on there. It's going to go and take it from our base sketch on there. So there's no advanced options. Traditionally, if I was doing a draft, I would probably go and use the draft command later on once we've got any additional features we want on here. But the crown is only available at this point. So if I go and choose the crown, this is going to bring up this crown diameters box, and depending on our extent, obviously the box has got a bit of grey. That's if we had a direction 2. So if I had another direction down there on the extent, we could go and see what those options are. And we can also see we've got different options. So no crown is going to be straight up edges. If we do a radius, what that's going to do, it's going to keep tangency at the bottom. So we're going to have perfect tangency, so it's going to start at 0 and it's going to kind of radius up. And if we go and specify the radius, that is going to be the radius of that face. If I take a section along any face, that angle is going to be 200 on there. If I want the radius to be the other way, I can choose the option to flip. So that's going to go and flip that out. And if I want the tangency to be from the other side, so at the moment the tangency is from here. If I want the tangency to be from the other side, I can click on that. So the tangency is here. So this is now perpendicular 90 degrees to that face, and obviously I've got the flip option on there as well. So for every version we've got 4 different versions. We've got our original, and obviously we can go and flip that, and we can go and flip the tangency on there. So let's go back to the original one. Okay, just so we can understand this a bit more. One thing that's quite nice as well, if I do click OK and then do a preview, we are going to get those sizes. So I'll go out, we can see we've got our 200 as a dynamic edit that we can see on there. Okay, let's go back to our crown parameters. Let's fill that back up on the screen and have a look on there. So currently that's just the radius option. The other option is we can do radius and takeoff. So our takeoff is a angle. So at the moment with takeoff it's 0. It's going straight up at the start. If I want it to start with say a 2 degree angle, so it means that the bottom of our face is 2 degree and then it's still 200. So obviously changing that between 0 and 200, you can see the top. It means that our start angle that comes out before it starts to curve is going to be down there. If I do a 5 degree, obviously it's going to take it. If I go too much, so we're going to get a failure if we go too high. So if we go 20, we're still okay. If we go crazy like 45, it's going to take it all the way down. So just where sometimes we can, obviously on that. We don't want a crazy angle on there. I may want the radius a little bit bigger so we can get that exact kind of shape. Quite often I'll see people doing a loft command rather than this, but this is quite nice. It gives us these options on here. The other option is we can do a offset. So this is like a physical value that we've got on here. So that means that obviously we've got 50mm on there, so that means that we're going to have 30mm from top to top. So the offset value is literally from there to there. So if I go and change the offset to 2, it's going to go and shrink that. So the radius is not being controlled. It doesn't tell us what the radius is. Obviously if I go to 24, that's going to take us, so we've only got a tiny little bit. Yeah, and if we go and take that back to a more reasonable value, that's what we've got on there as well. And then we've also got offset and takeoff. So obviously takeoff is the angle at the bottom. So if I go 0, that's just the same as doing a offset only. But if I go and do that and I go and do 5 degrees, this is obviously going to produce something that's probably not going to allow the offset, and we're going to get a failure on there. I would need to go and add a higher offset for that 5 degree takeoff angle on there to work on there. So if I do like a if I do a view on there, you can see if I did a line that was tangent to the endpoint, that would be 5 degrees on there. The great thing about this is we also see this as a edit definition within our preview. So once we do that, we can see we've got our 5 degree angle, we've got our 15 degree offset, so it allows us to clearly see what all the values that we're changing in there. If I go back to my parameters, yeah, we can go and change these to whichever one. So takeoff is an angle, offset is a value from where the original edge would have been to the distance of the edge, and obviously the radius is the radius value on there. Okay, so hopefully that's explained that. So really nice if we're working with cast and injection molded parts and we want that feature as our correct feature at the start.